What's up, you guys? Yes. So
I was gonna stare like that the whole time. Did you just...
Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, my name's Amanda. So today I'm welcomed by my friend, Joe.
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Joe. I also have a YouTube channel. You can check me out at Lil Hog Music over on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all that type of jazz. I make music sometimes. Some people like it, and some people are wrong.
So today we're going to be talking about another urban legend since it's a Thursday, and today's urban legend is about the Shadow Man. And the Shadow Man is something that goes along with sleep paralysis, and it's something that a lot of people have said that they've seen. He's also called the Hat Man. He's been called two different things, and you said you had some experience, right?
Yeah, when we get my sleep paralysis episodes, those are fun times.
Yeah. So we're going to go into a little bit of the legend of who he is and what he is, and then we're also going to share some stories that I found on a blog that's all about the Hat Man and different experiences that other people have had. So if you're interested in the Hat Man, go check that blog out. I'll leave it down in the description below. So let's get into it. So the Hat Man has been described like all throughout history and everything, and it's not a new phenomenon. Like, so many people have it from all over the world. It's not just in one region. And how I described in my sleep paralysis video of that feeling of like something pressing on your chest, that's something that's been directly linked to the Shadow Man. People who have woken up because they have felt the pressing on their chest, they usually look into a corner and they'll see a figure of a man with a wide-rimmed hat, and I'm gonna have like a picture somewhere on the screen. It's also gonna be in the thumbnail. So shadow people were first popularized on a radio talk show in about 2001, where someone had come in and they were just basically explaining the phenomenon behind it and basically describing shadow people as the silhouette of someone, usually men or women. But for this specific thing, it's something that has happened to so many people who have seen this particular figure that looks exactly the same way, the same exact hat, the same height. Everything about him is the same, even where he stands in the room sometimes. And it became so popular that TV shows were picking it up. It's in Supernatural, it's in so many movies, all these different types of shadow people.
Pretty sure it's Insidious. One of the movies it's in.
Oh, yeah.
The Crooked Man. It's the same. I'm pretty sure Crooked Man is the same dude.
But no, a lot of scientists did link it to sleep deprivation as like it's some kind of hallucination that you just see a shadow, and when your brain tries to explain it, it just puts it into a man silhouette. But they haven't yet just explained why you can feel it touch you, you could feel the weight on your chest, all the things that go along with experiencing the Shadow Man. They haven't been able to like explain any of that. So the Hat Man / Shadow Man is so popular that so many people have had these experiences with it. So someone had created a blog called the Hat Man Project where you could go and put your story on there. They have different posts that you can just comment under to put your story on there, and it honestly is interesting to see all the different stories and how many people actually experience that. So I have a little bit about what they have on here, and it says they had said that the reports of the Hat Man have been on the rise for the past 10 to 15 years, so much so that they've had so many experiences put not only online but also on YouTube. And I remember the year that the Shadow Man was just everywhere on YouTube. Everyone had a sleep paralysis story. Everyone had something to go along with sleep paralysis demon, the Shadow Man. Seeing one of my other urban legends I want to talk about is black-eyed children. Like,
oh no, that's creepy.
When that was on the rise, I was like,
no.
I ran away from kids.
I'll read a story. Title. He looked blacker than the night. I could feel the evil. I was 23 when I saw what I think people call the Hat Man. It was by far the most terrifying experience of my life. First, let me say it was early morning and still dark. My mother and I are both nurses, so working day shift, we left early for work before daylight. I was staying with my mom to save up money. Single mom worries, you know how it goes. My mother would drop my 5-year-old son off to the daycare for me because it was on her way to work. We lived on 5 acres with large lights on wooden poles throughout the property that turned on by a timer. It gave a sense of protection because it could get really dark. But this illusion was dispelled instantly that morning. Walking to our vehicles, I noticed a man standing under one of those lights closest to the house. I couldn't see his clothes per se, but their outlines. He didn't have a trench coat. It looked to be mid-thigh Victorian-era coat tapered. He had on boots from what the outline suggested, a stove hat, and he was looking at a watch on a chain. He didn't cast a shadow of his own. He was black as night. It's amazing the things that go through your head when something like this is happening. I could feel the evil coming off him in waves. It was almost like my adrenaline was about to make my heart explode. I was so terrified, I actually felt my eyes dilate. I began screaming at my mother to put my son in the car and just go. Go right the fuck now. Not my usual vocabulary. Plus, they couldn't see or feel what I was feeling. My mother kept yelling, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I walked back to her car and put my son in the seat and literally forced my mom into leaving without me. All the while, it's watching. I can't see it smiling, but I can, if that makes sense. It made me sick to my stomach. We had a 500-foot long driveway that led to a dirt road, very isolated. I didn't get in my car and follow my mother and son until they were at the end. I had to make sure it wouldn't follow them. I just looked straight at it, my heart running a 10K, and I'm standing still. I left finally to find my mother waiting for me at the end of the dirt road to the highway. Bewildered, I made her leave and called her from my cell to explain why I'd acted like a crazy person. Strangely, she believed me. I don't think it was used to my reaction. I had to protect my family even though I knew it was there for me. I don't know how I knew this, I just did. I hope to never feel that type of intense fear again. Ever. I've met my quota in spades.
I know that's weird because usually you only hear about it like being linked to sleep paralysis, but it's weird to hear about it during the day. I do see this other one by someone named Logan. Anyway, so he said, I saw Hatman when I was 16 years old. I played with the Ouija board that day with some friends and never said goodbye. Not sure if that is what made me see him, but he wasn't alone. I woke up at some point that night in a panic, and I could only move my eyes. I glanced around my room and saw him standing in a corner of my room. His glowing orange eyes felt like they could see straight through me into my soul. I felt fear like I had never have before. Once I saw him, a breeze went through my room, coming from my doorway, and suddenly there was a crushing weight on my chest, and I couldn't breathe. I looked and saw what appeared to be a little boy that was completely white with pitch black eyes. He was on my chest, holding me down, screaming, "Run." At this time, the Hat Man started slowly moving across the room towards my bed. After that, I have no memory of what happened. All I know was when I woke up the next day, I was screaming and I couldn't sleep, much less be alone in the dark for a couple weeks. They had a black-eyed child in that.
There's a child and fuck that. See, that's why you gotta.
I know there's a lot of experiences with that, and that's why whenever I was talking about my sleep paralysis story, like beginning before I did the video, a lot of people always said, well, it had to be the shadow man because like that's who you see when you have sleep paralysis, and I was like, yeah, it's not. No.
Yeah, this is pretty much the same thing that happened to me. Like before I even knew what the fuck sleep paralysis was in the first place, I just know like the events that happened, and I'm stuck, and then I see what I see, and I went home, or I went to school the next day, and I was telling my friends, you know, the story of what happened, and then he was like, "Oh, that sounds like the Crooked Man," and I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah," and I just started reading up about him, and I was like, "Oh, that's fucking creepy." Yeah, imagine that, but it's like pretty much the same thing. So like for me, for my sleep paralysis episode, I'm just in my bed chilling, being a little guy, living my best life, and then you wake up, but like you don't, you know, and so you're like, oh well, time to get out of bed now, and then you're like, what's with the hijinks? And you look over in the corner. It's like really your eyes are the only things you can move, and you can kind of like do that.
Yeah.
And so I see this tall thing in the corner, and he's got this little, I called it a top hat, but it might have been that little brimmed hat, just because I didn't know the word for brim hat, so I always described it as a top hat, but it was, you know, closer to like a little brim hat and shit. And so it's just this giant shadow thing that I'm seeing in the corner of my room, and then it's just coming towards me. It's got these like red eyes, and then like I don't know how else to describe its teeth, but like jagged like that sort of deal. And then so it just comes, and then it's just staring over me, and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna die now. I didn't. closer now.
Yeah, but
Second time I saw him, or well, this is a little bit in the road because I get sleep paralysis a lot. I just don't hallucinate. I have hallucinations with it all the time. But the second time I remember seeing it, I was in California and I was in a hotel with my girlfriend at the time. She's sleeping on my chest, and then like I'm on my back. Which usually I tend not to sleep on my back because that's when it happens the most. I don't know if you've noticed that, but every time I'm on my back, it's like whenever it happens. So I'm laying on my back, she's on my chest, and then same thing. Guy in the corner, tall, shadowy like figure, and then he just comes up and he's just walking, and then he just with his little jagged teeth, and red eyes, and he's just staring over me. And my first thing is like I have to move Autumn and get her out the way, and so like. I like jump up, and then as soon as I do, the hallucination's gone. I'm able to move and everything again. She like screams, and she's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, so you know how I do like my thing, like with sleep paralysis stuff. And then I was like, look up, sweating cold as shit.
no, I think like I've only seen like the Shadow Man a few times, but usually I don't notice it whenever I'm on my back. I notice it whenever I'm on my side facing my door. But my bed is set up closer to my window, and whenever I sleep facing away from my door, I get sleep paralysis, I'll get like that feeling of something's like, I don't want to say cuddling me because that makes it sound cute, but it's just its arm is over me. I don't know what else to call that. It's just, but no, like its arm is like just around me, and then I can just see like the longest like nails. And they're pointed, I'm just like...
Hell yeah, dude.
No, and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna die.
Naturally.
Yeah, like that's just the thought that goes through your
Step
head.
one, step two.
Yeah. But whenever I'm facing my door, I don't like the shadows in my room because I never know if it's like the Shadow Man or it's just like a weird shadow. But there was just one time, I was in my room, and it happened one time when I was in at Nichols. So I was facing the door, and I had sleep paralysis, so I couldn't move. And then I tried to like roll onto my back, and I couldn't do that either. It felt like something was like pushing me up, so I couldn't move. No, because every time I would move, like try to roll, I would feel myself be pushed back. So not fun.
That's creepy as hell.
But then I look towards my door because I'm, gonna try to scream for help because something's pushing my back.
And then all you hear is, and that's it. That's all you can do.
Yeah, it feels like you're like almost gonna swallow your tongue, like
something like that.
It's crazy. But then, so I see this like, and the only reason I could discern it from the normal shadows in my room because it moved, and it turned around me.
Yeah, fuck
to
that.
Me. And I remember thinking in my head, I kept thinking like, please, 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 and then it started kind of moving, and I wouldn't say walking because it floated towards me.
Right.
And it just kind of stayed at the end of my bed, and I remember I closed my eyes because that's all I could do. I could open and close my eyes. That was it.
Yeah, that's about it, yeah.
And so I closed my eyes, and then when I opened them, he was leaning over the bed this close to my face.
Yeah.
And I literally, I'm sure my eyes said please because he smiled and then just disappeared. I could move, and I sat in my bed, cried.
Naturally. Yeah.
Went to go turn on the light and watched YouTube all night. I was like, okay, that was not fun at all.
That's not a good time. That's terrible.
No, and my mom always asks me why I sleep with so much stuff on the side of my bed, and so that doesn't happen. It can't. So nothing can stay on the side of me like in my sleep paralysis story,
Gotcha.
and nothing can lean over me because he will break my laptop, and that's just rude.
That's some bullshit, dude.
That's just not.
$600 laptop.
Dude, like you're a guest in my house, and you're gonna break my laptop trying to scare me?
I ain't even got an offer
Anyway.
to pay for it.
So then my other story is from when I think it was in one of the dorms. Yeah, because it didn't happen while I was in my apartment. Anyway, I was in...
Duh.
And I was in a...
Pay attention to the timeline that you've established.
No, I'm just trying to... I can't remember if it was... I think it was in my private dorm. So it was in one of the private dorms, and yeah, I had a high bed, and this is what I remember, because I woke up and fell off the bed immediately. So I was like really high up, like... You can't see that. Okay, but it's like, it's high off the ground. It's high off the ground. It's as tall as it can like possibly go. And so they're tiny beds. So you can sleep on your side or your other side. Because if you sleep on your back, you take up the whole bed.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I was sleeping on my side facing the door. And this is how my room was set up. I had that Like the bed, I had the drawers underneath, and then I had the desk immediately right to the side of the bed. So where if you fall off, you can like just hit your head and then you die. And then my refrigerator was right by my desk because when I studied, I like to eat and drink. So
I just like to eat.
it was right there.
I just be eating.
And then everything else was just like on the other side, like away. So, and you gotta keep in mind, I was on the first floor at this point. So already freaking out because I don't like being on the first floor with the window being so close to my bed that like goes to the outside, not towards the inner side of campus, but like to the outside, so like anybody can just break in.
That makes sense.
So I wake up and I can't move, and I'm just like, okay, Liddy, I have sleep paralysis again. So I was like, okay, hope nothing's behind me because I'm facing the door and I'm pretty close to the edge, so there's enough room for at least one thing behind me. Well, I look towards the door, see the shadow person again, and I literally in my head I'm just like seriously, again? Because at this point I had been experiencing so much at this point that I was done. Like that day, it was already a bad day emotionally. Like that was like just a bad day in classes, bad day with people. So then, and it was a bad day, like I could just feel everything. I could feel people's emotions, and I was like, I don't even want to feel my own right now. I can't get it away. But, so this happened, I'm just like seriously, I have a clock so I can just like see what time it is. It's not even midnight yet. I was like, no, I'm just like, wait your turn. Like, come back at 3. Like,
everybody,
let me sleep until at least 3.
Like a normal sleep paralysis demon.
Because then I don't have to. Because if I stay awake from like 3 to when I have to wake up for classes, I'm fine. But if I gotta do this from midnight to whenever I have classes, I'm out. I'm down for the count.
That's life sometimes. Man.
Well,
you just gotta live with it.
It happened again, and like of course. So he doesn't have to lean over or anything because like the bed's so high, like he just walks straight up and his just face is
He's a tall guy.
just in front of me. And at this point, I was kind of hoping it was a real person and that I just was pretending to not move. Like it was just like some kind of reflex because I'm like, oh, I just woke up, can't move, so sleep paralysis, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I actually can, and I was hoping it would be a real person because I could take that out. I could take a person.
I think I would rather the fake thing.
No, because the shadow man, I'm so done with this bullshit. Like, these demons gotta go. Well, no, because I've had sleep paralysis where, like, just nothing's happened. I'm just chilling, can't move.
It's like, when?
Can I go back to sleep? And I'll do that. I'll have sleep paralysis, I'm just like, you know what, whatever, I can't move anyway, so I'll go back to sleep. As long as my blanket's still on top of me, I'm fine.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but, like, sometimes, like, I'll get it, like, right before I'm about to fall asleep. And I don't know if you can, like, feel it coming on or not, but, like, it'll just be like these little mini episodes where I'm just kind of like, I feel it and I'm like, I want to move. And so like, I'll just start trying to like move my little fingers and things like that. And then eventually I'm able to just, yeah.
No, I have those too, but it's like, I'll be just awake and I'll just feel like myself not being able to move. And so the YouTube video is just playing and I literally will be like laying like this and I can't move from this. So like my hand just starts twitching, and I'm just like, okay, now can a demon come? It's bright. The light's still on in my room. Like, and
you can't. No. It don't matter. Oh, that's not good.
But yeah, and then also, I was talking about it in my sleep paralysis video where anytime I tell the story to someone, that they end up getting it that night. But I told like the very first roommate I had in college, I told her, and she experienced it that night and saw the shadow man. So. It was just funny.
I see demons tonight.
Call
no, you
me.
ain't never coming over again.
Call me. No, I have good control over them. It's fine. But yeah, that's the end of that story.
What was that last thing you said?
Nothing. I'll explain after or off the camera. But yeah. So that's the end of this urban legend. So go check out the Hat Man Project if you're still interested. Go look up the Cricket Man, the Shadow Man, the Hat Man, all of those different things. You can look it up on YouTube to hear other people's stories, or you can go look at the blog to hear people's stories. So tune in next time for the urban legend of the Black-Eyed Children, because those stories are the creepiest. They're only stories of people who haven't given them what they asked for, but they have no stories of someone who has. So I'll try to find one of those. Hey y'all. I hope you enjoyed that video. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can see the next time I have another scary upload. Click on the video in the right corner to see my video upload from yesterday, and the video in the left corner is a video YouTube picked specifically for you. Sweet dreams.